Adventure, a simple word that might excite or even scare a lot of people. Adventure bike. To most people that might appear daunting. But 7 years ago, Royal Enfield changed that with the Himalayan, a motorcycle that is simple, accessible and most importantly, friendly. Now 7 years later, we are back in the mountains to taste a new, more exciting flavor of adventure with the all-new Royal Enfield Himalayan. But you see, the thing is, the original Himalayan has a unique idea to it of simplicity. Does the new one stay true to that same idea? Let's find out. Born out of something simple and functional, the new Himalayan enhances the rugged appeal of the OG bike. It gets a more flowy and muscular fuel tank with a beak-like front fender. It surely brings it closer to the adventure genre of bikes, but maintains its own unique character. It's bigger, more muscular and more charming than before. But the idea in terms of design still stays the same, simple and effective. Now let's talk about how you will get to those adventures. With this right here, the all-new 452cc liquid-cooled engine called Sherpa 450. This is Royal Enfield's very first liquid-cooled engine, and boy, it is a stunner. 40 horses ready to go when you are. One other fascinating thing about this engine is that it makes 40 Newton meters at as low as 5,500 RPM. That results in a commendable low-end performance, especially useful while off-roading. In nature, the new Himalayan aligns with the OG's attempt to keep the bike accessible, and this engine does that really well. You see, even though the engine is more powerful and livelier than before, it isn't intimidating or something that might scare you. What it is a humble companion that will adjust according to what you need. What's interesting here is that the new engine is not the most refined one, but it is still decently smooth and not scared of going fast. While the 411 found it difficult to maintain triple-digit speeds, this one can do 110 kmph without really breaking a sweat. And the claimed top speed of this bike is 150 kmph plus. Obviously, we haven't been able to try that out here, but we will dive deeper into the performance and the touring aspect of this bike once we get it for a proper road test. Until then, this engine does seem like it's capable of touring.
There is one thing though, we have only ridden the bike at high altitudes and cold temperatures where the engine wasn't really breathing so well. So we will only be able to understand the exact performance of the bike and check out its two ride modes once we do the proper road test. Generally, Royal Enfield bikes have a heavy clutch, so by those standards, the Himalayan doesn't feel like an RE bike. You see, with the help of the assist and slipper clutch, the clutch action is really light and gear shifting really smooth. Just a tap on the shifter and gear is changed even while standing. Changing the gear is pretty easy, making off-roading a breeze. However, a couple of times I did face the issue with missed shifts in the first to second gear transition.
Remember when I said that this bike is bigger in size? Well, in specs, the new Himalayan is longer, wider, has a higher ground clearance, longer wheelbase, a larger 17-litre fuel tank, and despite all of that, it has shed 3 kg of weight, standing now at 196 kg curb. Pair that with the centralized mass, and you have a motorcycle that is lightweight, is agile, flickable, and in maneuvering, feels like a 200-250cc bike. One important aspect about inspiring confidence while riding the bike are the brakes. The brakes on this bike are exactly what you would need. The front and back, both discs have a sharp bite as well as progression, which gives you the confidence to push the bike harder. Also, the rear brake gets switchable ABS, so while off-roading, you can turn off the ABS for sliding.
Let's go.
The Himalayan has always been a bike that's comfortable, and the new one stays true to that. It gets wide raised handlebars, upright ergos, and the seat is just right for ultimate butt support. Everything just fits in pretty well, and you can grip onto the fuel tank for better grip. Even while standing, it just puts you in a nice, comfy position.
Now compared to the old one, the new bike has a taller seat height of 825 mm, which can be increased to 845 mm by a very simple process that you do all by yourself. You can just change the position of the two levers under the seat to increase or decrease the seat height.
But there's still nothing to be sad about for people who prefer the older 800 mm seat height. You see, this bike gets an optional accessory seat which will bring down the seat height to 805 mm. Win-win for everyone. And we can't not talk about suspension when talking about comfort. On roads, the Himalayan will go over anything and absorb it almost completely. The Showa suspension on both ends offers a really plush and comfy ride in general. Everything changes when you go off-road, but the Himalayan, it stays the same. It gives you the same confidence to venture out to places that roads cannot take you. It is well behaved, confidence inspiring, and supportive. Despite feeling light, this bike is excellent when it comes to stability. It can help you avoid a lot of tricky situations with the help of, once again, the suspension. The 200 mm of wheel travel on both ends is excellent for people trying to get into off-roading and is so forgiving.
The all-new Himalayan is the most feature-packed as well as electronically aided motorcycle from Royal Enfield. The new fully digital TFT console has a clean layout, easy to read under any light condition, and is pretty intuitive as well. It gets two display modes, analog and digital, that can be switched easily on the move. You also get full-fledged as well as turn-by-turn navigation powered by Google Maps, which you can access via the smartphone app. Now the issue is that you need to keep your smartphone on at all times for the full-fledged navigation, which drains the battery pretty quick. You can also view and change the music playing on your headset directly through the console, and you can control the cluster with a joystick placed on the left side of the handlebar. Although simple, the joystick takes a little time to get used to and can select the incorrect option because of sensitive control.
To me, what the new Royal Enfield Himalayan feels like is a companion, a supportive friend who will stick by you through thick and thin. It is forgiving, easygoing, and most importantly, it is a motorcycle that anybody can just pick up and ride on any terrain. It is very difficult to not like this bike. The unique character of the Himalayan, which is the simplicity, that too is retained here. In conclusion, it is an overall upgrade to what was already good and addressing some issues that could have been better. One thing that should be noted here is that the first lot of the OG Himalayan had a bunch of issues, which made a lot of people cautious about buying the first lot of any Royal Enfield bike. But with the new Himalayan, the production quality and everything, that might just change that perspective altogether. Now the most crucial bit about the Himalayan will be its price. Sure, it will be a significant hike over the Himalayan 411, but we hope that it won't be too much. And lastly, we can't wait to put the new Royal Enfield Himalayan through a proper road test and test out its touring capabilities. Until then, we hope you had a great time and stay tuned to ZigWheels.